It's Mike Ross, also known as Mike on the Mic. He's getting ready for his upcoming 2022 comedy run. He'll be kicking it off at Bitty Brand's Stress Factory Comedy Club, Caroline's on Broadway, Punchline Philly. You don't want to miss him take the stage at the DC Improv. Then he'll be coming to the Atlanta Improv and at Chocolate Sundays Comedy Show in Los Angeles, California.
Promote your brand here at Viral Hip Hop News. Email me, samant@thehiphopnews.com. No, wait, let's go.
Hey, man, well, in hip-hop, man, you know our boy Mase, your boy Mase, more importantly. He was on a couple podcasts, man, talking this shit, doing his thing. And our boy Ali from the St. Lunatics, I was looking on his Instagram, and he was making fun of Mase a little bit. And I was like, damn, what's the jokes about? And then it got a little deeper. So he showed this picture. I'll show it to the people. I'll show it to you right there, where Mase is showing his girls with the red suit on. And he basically said that they got him at Walmart for $59.95.
Oh, let me see that up close. That's crazy.
So then he puts he tags Mase and calls him a circus clown pretty much. Damn. So then he has people in his comment section, because I guess they were confused, ask what's going on. So somebody said, how much of an influence was Mase with you guys, or was he just faking? Ali responded, he said, Cap, put a bunch of caps in there. He said he came and stole. He never liked us. He passed on us. Kuda kept the tape, so we fired Kuda, and then started calling us Plan B. Hence the reason why I wrote, Kuda, we Plan B. Says who? Says Mase, Kuda voice. Well, what's Plan A? Because Plan B about Pap's money. Then he saw us coming. His second album, Double Up, was losing, so he quit, and then he came back. Kuda, dumb, scary ass, gave him half his company. These niggas and clown faces are hoes. Now, we don't know the entire story, and we'd much rather have Ali to come in here and tell us a little bit more of the story. Shout out to Ali if you see this. Shout out to you. Well, what do you think about that, man? People just, this whole shit with Mase, you know what I mean? We got a little bit of shit behind the scenes, and I mean, we probably got our own way of thinking, but what do you think about Ali calling Mase a clown?
I'm not mad at him for doing it. Yeah. I'm going to tell you why, because I understand, like, the stuff we've been through in this industry is certain people that rubbed us the wrong way, that we haven't pretty much publicly aired out yet, but that day may come when we got to publicly air them the fuck out. Like, seriously, because of the way they treated us on our journey. You know what I mean? And sometimes people will come with, all these, you think they're, genuine and all that, but they really snakes in the grass. And we've seen a lot of them. We dealt with them. So if that's his experience with Mase, then there's nothing I could say here that's like, all right, nah, Mase ain't that, because, I don't know Mase. I know our little interaction that we had with him, but that's about it. And that was brief. But again, that's his experience, man. But as far as what Mase just did recently, I mean, we see what it is. You know what I mean? Obviously the dude called him out. Fabio called him out on a podcast, so he went on that same podcast, to address him. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I tend to rock with Ali in this situation. Right. One, mainly because we've had an opportunity to interact with him personally. You know what I'm saying? He came on the show. We exchanged pleasantries. He talked to us for an hour, and we've been cool ever since. So when you get that type of love, and when you get that love exchange, you tend to, fuck with the person and kind of believe what they saying when you get to see him in person. We tried to do that with Mase. We was unsuccessful, even though he had conversations and said he wanted to do it. Was unsuccessful in doing so for whatever reason.
Mainstream on us.
Very mainstream. And it looks like the apple doesn't fall too far from a tree, because you heard Mase for years reply about what Diddy's done, but they all do it. Cut it the fuck out. Y'all went and learned from people that did it before, and now y'all doing it to people that are coming up after. And it's just a very whack situation, if you ask me. Like I said, like you said, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. If he a clown to you and he did some clown shit, then so be it. And it's a lot of motherfucking clowns in this industry, and I hope that one day we can really talk about it. I don't know if it could happen in podcast form without us, the narrative being stared of us as haters because we're independent and we've got little things going on. So it may be stared a different way, but hopefully one day, maybe in an interview, somebody asks us the right question and we lay you ass the fuck out and fillet y'all the right way. But
that's the only thing that's stopping us, cuz.
Yep. But I fuck with Ali. Shout out to Ali.
Yeah, man. And I'm not gonna, disclose the conversation that me and Mase had, but I'll let you look at it real quick in the beginning and what he said about his artists, right there. So that kind of is what it is, man. When you look at that whole situation, the business is the business. So from what the people that we talk to, that's execs and stuff in the business, all the contracts are pretty much the same, especially that first contract is not going to be favorable, you know what I mean, to the artist, you know what I mean? And from the people that we advise with, they always say that when it's not advisable to sign to another artist. That's just what they told us. Now, I'm sure there's probably certain situations that are better than others, but at the end of the day, usually you getting the shit in of the stick. But again, with Cadillac Tower was saying, when you first coming in the game,
Everybody.
yeah, it's like you getting $5, $10, $20,000, whatever, even $100,000. You're like, damn, this is everything. But you could be worth, 10 at the end of the day. So it's kind of like a live and you learn thing. So the people now that's seeing it, that's inspiring artists, or aspiring execs, know just try to do business on a different level when you get the opportunity, when you get in that position. But unfortunately, I think the structure is set up that way. You know what I mean? For it's like, all right, because you ain't really got, the channels that I could put you through. You ain't got the connection, so you got to give me a piece of this shit. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to benefit off your talent. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with it. Just make everything be fair, and everybody agree on, what's fair for the artist. And you can negotiate down the road. Like, maybe, at one point, the exec was getting 80%, the artist was getting 20. Maybe later on you want to say, okay, let's make it 50-50 or 45-50 or 60-40.
Right.
You can always renegotiate, down the line, unless you get wrapped up in 10, 15, 20-year deals and you kind of stuck. But
Right.
yeah, it's a live and you learn thing with this whole situation, man. But hopefully, Mase, hopefully we can get him on and talk to him. We'll see.
Indeed. We'll see. And we'll leave it at that when it comes to that whole Mase situation. I don't know if you've seen, guy, real quick, a little off script. Our man Pocket Watching with JT, he dropped something. A Bloomberg report said podcast guests are paying up to $50,000 to appear on popular shows. Critics call it a podcast payola.
Oh, yeah, I definitely seen that.
Think about that.
I mean, I seen the video when he did it.
Oh, okay.
100%. And it's not necessarily about when he was talking. It's not necessarily about paying to get on a podcast, but it's about people coming on, paying, having the resources that are spreading false information, wrong information. Like we talked about the people in health that spread false information. You got people in the finance that spread false information that can get people locked up, information that's fraud, different things like that. And they're sharing it as tactics to kind of beat the system. But it's like at the end of the day, people are getting locked up, for this. So what he was referring to is people, paying to go on major podcasts, but putting out false information. And then, people coming back to that podcast and saying, look, how y'all let this happen? The next thing you know, then they start defending, the podcast start defending, obviously, because that's the person that's paying to get on there. Right. And or not retracting that claim, coming on, say, you know what? He said some bullshit on our show. You know what I mean? We can't really be behind that on our show. Now, there's certain things where it's like if he's lying about a person, something like that they dealt with or experienced, that's different than putting out bad information medically, bad information, about, how to get $50,000 from a credit card company. Right. That's a little bit different, in my opinion. I think if you are that type of platform, let's say like a Earn Your Leisure,
right,
and you doing the financial people, you got a responsibility to make sure the people coming on there are giving out right and exact information, especially if you in that field yourself.
Right.
Like you may not know everything, but it's like if it's brought to your attention that something was wrong, you got to come back and say, this was wrong, right, or take it down, or both. You got to do that because there's responsibility to the people. You don't want, one of these guys coming on and saying some false information and maybe 500 people trying it. And next thing you know, they shit's fucked up and they got it from your show. I don't think you want to have that type of, energy on you, but that's just my opinion.
Nah, great point, great opinion, and great view on that. My thoughts on it is there's a payola in this whole entire industry. This whole industry is full of that shit. You look at and it's three types of people in this industry. There's pimps, there's hoes, and it's the ones on the side that's try to stay away from all of that shit. But all the action is going on with the pimps and the hoes. And you either getting hoed, showing your ass or exposing your ass to get a little bit of fame, or you the one doing the pimping. And it happens on all levels. The higher podcast, they may be able to charge a guest a certain amount for them to get on the show because they understand the perception. But then them independent platforms may have to pay the fucking celebrity a certain ridiculous amount of money so that they can get on. It's a whole big game of pimps and hoes. And either you getting hoed or somebody trying to hold you, or you a pimp trying to, or you ones on the side. And you trying to maneuver through all the bullshit, but you don't get the same flow as you do if you're in them streets, man. So it happens everywhere, man. I'm not just going to put it on the podcast, any particular podcast. But the shit is the game is dirty, and it just is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a filthy game, man. But yeah, you just gotta be held accountable, man, for people that come on, you know, and in particular the video that he was talking about, they ain't want to be held accountable.
That was the Earn Your
know what I
Leisure
mean,
people?
for that. Yeah, that was for Earn Your Leisure. I think even $1 million worth of game joint. Somebody was on there spreading some false information.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, a couple of them. I mean, hence the picture. I think the picture I think has a couple of different guys up there.
Right.
But yeah, that's it kind of exposes. I think the platforms. Now we've had people come back and tell us stuff. But nothing's been on that type of level with shit like that. Like when people we had come on here and talk about finances, it was right and exact.
Yep.
You know what I mean? People that we had talking about stuff was right and exact. And if it's not, we're going to grill you, and the truth is going to come out because we're going to ask you questions to make you tell the truth.
Exactly. If it's anything controversial, you will not see us play a line in there. We are not going to sit back and go, okay, he's telling 100% truth. That ain't up to us.
Right.
We're going to ask the tough questions, the naysayer questions, so that they can either prove or expose themselves.
Right.